Good afternoon, all. So, why theme of the conference, what we see is preparing for the future growth. I would like to take you a little back in time and share some stories from the past that still holds relevance in our R&D world. And let me see this. So, let me start with the story of Srinivas Ramanujan, a brilliant mathematician from 20th century, and a lot of his knowledge was lost to handwritten notes and scattered notebooks. He came up with brilliant ideas which were far ahead of the time, but many times those ideas were not fully explained. His scientist community couldn't really understand those concepts, and he always, like most of the time, he worked in isolation, lacking collaboration with his peer communities. So as a result, even after 100 years, scientists are searching for his lost notebooks, trying to make sense out of his handwritten notes, and then they still don't know how much of his knowledge has been lost. So how it relates to current stage? Think about our current R&D environment, where despite having all modern technologies and tools, all critical knowledge is lost into scattered notebooks, disconnected data systems, personal folders, even shared drives, and teams, they lack collaboration. Often they repeat their work as they can't find really what has been done before. They can't get right information at the right time. And again, similar to Ramanujan, there is a risk of losing all this critical knowledge. And so, therefore, in modern R&Ds, they're looking for systems that can create an intelligent knowledge base that can bring together all the information from their R&Ds related to people, experiments, tools, all the materials they use, or the processes they have, right? And not only bringing this data together, that data needs to be accurate, it needs to be contextual, it should fulfill the principles of fair data. That is, it's findable, easily accessible, it should be interoperable, and it should be reusable. So how about having this kind of database? So this is an example which shows how a typical chemical R&D can build a knowledge base using Revvity Signals One platform. So where within one platform, they can access all the projects, ongoing projects, their status. They can search for all the required information, see if similar kind of product or reaction has been run before, look at the conditions, see how various parameters can impact overall sustainability and performance of the product. They can even track into the operational efficiencies. They can see, do the resource planning, see which teams are performing better, which teams are underutilized. So that's how they can have all this information together, right? And once you have this kind of all accumulated knowledge, based on this knowledge, you can build strong hypothesis, which is the starting point of your journey ahead, right? And so that takes me to the next example. We all know Christopher Columbus, great voyager, and he strongly believed that sailing towards west from Europe will take him to India, and as we know, he landed in America. And till he died, he strongly believed that he is in India. And this is a classic example of wrong hypothesis built on incomplete information and lack of knowledge about challenges on the way, right? But that time, many of these discoveries happened by serendipity. And if you think about today's world, serendipity is not a choice. You can't just rely on a luck. You need a strategy. The strategy needs to be based on your data, your own data, okay? So today's R&D, new product development, starts with clear objectives. What do you want to achieve? There should be clarity on what are the critical parameters, how it will influence overall journey. You need to clearly analyze, critically analyze all the test results throughout the process development, right? And in addition to that, industries adopting new technologies, inline sensors, a lot of streaming data comes from those. They are using DOEs or high throughput screening experiments, which generates huge amount of data. And handling this kind of data is just beyond human capabilities, human computation powers. And you need digital systems which can make sense out of this data and help you in organizing data and helping you in making strategy based on that. So this is an example where you can see this is a typical high throughput process optimization, and objective is clear to optimize these product attributes with best possible yield with good balance of cost and time. And hundreds of experiments were run, and as you can see, all the results, all the experiments were brought together in one single place so that scientists can look at overall impact of different parameters, how the combination of different parameters can influence this quality. They can take better decisions. This can help them in minimizing the repetitions, minimizing experiment iterations. It can help them in cut down long-term, bigger experiments. They can perform series of small experiments, and that can save them from failure in large-scale experiments, right? So that they can have the right strategy. And when we are coming to the strategy and then finding right way to start product development, often we see what we generally develop in a lab, not necessarily work on a large scale. So you also have to think about the commercial viability. It's not just having a novel method, but whether it is commercially viable. And that's where it takes to second example, third example, where you can see in a picture is Whitewater Rand gold mine. So one of the biggest gold mine at that time in South Africa, which changed the future of Johannesburg and South Africa. And the statue which you see here is Australian explorer who discovered this mine, and he's holding that gold stone in his hand. But that guy, he was literally sitting on the gold mine, but had no clue about scale of the deposits. He had no resources to extract that gold, and he sold out his stake just for 10 pounds. Otherwise, he would have been the richest person in the world, right? And very much relates to our industry also. We come up with bright ideas, but how we can commercialize those ideas? We need to look at commercial viability. It's not just about the science, but you have to look at trade-offs. So how you can balance quality, time, and cost of the material. And that's the reason, right from the initial stage, you need to have good visibility on all the batches, all the processes that you have. And that takes me to another dashboard. What you can see has been built with Revvity Signals One software, where scientists can have visibility on cost, qualities to the batch level. They can compare various batches right from the lab scale to production scale. They can critically analyze these trade-offs, and that can help them in rightly assessing the scalability of this idea, and they can decide whether to go with this idea or they have to try something else, right? So what these three stories tells us, that not knowing what you have or not being able to make sense out of what you have can cost you dearly. And that's where Revvity Signals software can help you. So all the dashboards which I showed you have been created in Signals One software. But if you look at those dashboards, this kind of insights, to get this kind of insights, you need to understand the data journey behind it. They are just dashboards, but behind that, a lot of data. The data comes from various operations, various systems, people, materials, and you need to accumulate all this data together. You need to standardize, you need to contextualize, you need to map all this data, and all this work goes before it comes to the dashboard. And that's where Revvity Signals platform can help you. It can help you with unified cloud-native SaaS platform that can bring all these processes together, regardless of the workflow, whether it is life sciences, fine chemicals, specialty chemicals, petrochemicals, agrochemicals, despite discipline. It helps you right from the ideation, synthesis, material design, and formulation to its analytical testing, scale-up activities, right to the commercial launch or customer delivery. And when we look at all these disciplines, regardless of discipline, the R&D goes through series of make, test, decide cycles. And we understand these cycles. Throughout this cycle, so this platform has been built around this make, test, decide cycles, and it brings together the solutions like CameDraw, so a signals notebook combined with CameDraw that lays a foundational layer that allows you to easily capture all your laboratory data, all scientific data, add chemical intelligence, chemical structures, allows you to efficiently collaborate with your team members, okay? So unlike Ramanujan, here you can capture all your data digitally, you can collaborate efficiently. Nowadays, many times you don't work alone. You need to work with multiple stakeholders or maybe CROs or third parties. So Signal Synergy can help you in collaboratively working with various stakeholders across the boundaries. Signal Spotfire, so it brings strong analytics capabilities with Signal Spotfire. And that's how it can help you in managing all your experiment data, materials. With inventory, you can manage all the materials. You can handle material ordering. Then it's a consumption tracking, cost and safety information. All this information you handle in one single platform. And then instruments play a major role, whether it's inline sensors or instruments. It allows you bidirectional integration with instruments. So Signals DLX will help you with bringing all this instrument data in the same place. On top of that, open APIs helps you, as we saw in the previous presentation. A lot of legacy systems are there in R&D, like LIMS and PLM and DMS systems, so various legacy systems. So open APIs can help you in connecting with all those systems. And that's how it helps you in getting ready for digital twin. It helps you getting ready for AI. It opens all the possibilities of AI. AI won't come without this foundation. So this platform will make you ready to take advantage of AI capabilities. Okay? So when deploying this kind of enterprise platforms, it's a digital transformation. You need to change systems, and it's not a process which happens in one day. So it's not just about the tools and technologies, but for this you need processes, people, you need a trusted vendor or trusted partner to work with you. So Revvity Signals with over 1 million users worldwide, 35 years of experience in industry. We have a team of over 750 employees which support more than 4,000 customers across the globe. Out of that, 16 from top 20 chemical companies, 6 from top 20 agrochemical companies, and so on. I can put more blocks there. We serve various markets, right from life sciences, specialty chemicals, food, flavors, fragrance, agrochemicals, consumer products, KK sir, I said we support battery research, and many other fields I can name for. And in last couple of years, we have seen significant growth in our SaaS business, and these are some of the key logos which I have put together. Okay. So to conclude, again, when we look at the theme, preparing for the future growth, for this growth, today's R&D, there is no alternative for digital transformation. And let's work together to build that bright future. Thank you very much.